So welcome. This is Refresh Your Reels. The masterclass will be no longer than an hour in total. We won't be here any longer. I know you guys are all very busy people with busy businesses, so I won't take up too much of your time. Plus, if you didn't already know, Bake Off is on tonight at 8 o'clock. So very exciting. Bake Off live. I will make sure that we do not go on until then so that we can all have time to get dinner ready and watch Bake Off at 8 o'clock. So, God, what a great time to be alive. Little fact, I love to start with a fact. So Reels currently are outperforming all other content types on Instagram when it comes to reach and engagement rate. And those are two of the things that you need in order to grow on Instagram. So reach to find your audience, and then engagement is to connect with them and then go on to reach your goals in whatever way that is. Maybe it's to sell to them, most likely, if you're running a business. Maybe it's to meet them or get them to join one of your clubs. Lots of different reasons why you might want to reach and engage with an audience on Instagram. Now, I say this in all my masterclasses because I do think it's really, really important. And it may feel like everyone is doing so well on Instagram and taking up space that you can't invade it, or perhaps you don't feel good enough to invade the space. And I always like to say that there is space for everyone. There really, really is. There is space for you. And we've all got to start somewhere. It might feel like you're a million miles behind, but you have to start somewhere. And obviously you're here today, which is exciting. And that's a good place to start. So pat yourself on the back for that one. So the plan for this session is to run through my top 30 Reels tips. And I've chosen 30, and you may have seen from all the various graphics that I've been posting, because I've just turned 30, which is a bit crazy. I have celebrated in many, many different ways, and this Reels masterclass just happens to be one of them. So thank you for being here celebrating. I did think maybe we should have all worn like purple hats or something, but maybe that's probably for another time. I did want to show you though, the best way that I celebrated was definitely dressing up as an alpaca for my 30th birthday fancy dress party, which was anything beginning with A. So here's a picture in case you wanted to just see. This is my alpaca outfit. He did actually have a little tiara and a little sash. I just thought I'd show you because it was a proud moment of the start of my 30th year. So very, very quickly before we get into the 30 tips. So if you don't know who I am, I'd love to give you a very quick whistle-stop tour, why I'm here, why I'm sitting here talking to you. I got a job working as a marketing executive for a national food brand, and I absolutely loved it. So things were growing and doing really well, and my boss who owned the food brand actually owned multiple businesses, and he decided to turn my role into a marketing team. Initially just me, so he wanted me to work for all of his businesses. And then I was very lucky to be able to grow the team. We hired some amazing marketers, other creative people, photographers, and I worked with some fab clients in lots of different industries and sort of managed this new agency, which was very exciting. However, nearly 3 years ago, which is mad, I finally took the leap and decided that I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to start my very own creative marketing agency, Hometown Creative. Which you may have heard of. I do that alongside Baffled Bossing It. So we work with lots of amazing businesses, all different sizes, supporting them with their marketing and mostly social media at the moment. And then I realized that wasn't quite enough. I learned that lots of small business owners obviously couldn't afford an agency, but they were actually then just struggling to do their own marketing, specifically Instagram. And I really believe that every passionate business owner has got it to absolutely smash it on Instagram. They just need a bit of guidance, a bit of cheerleading. So that's how Baffled Bossing It was born. So I help people with free classes like this and tips online on my social media, but I also work with small business owners with one-to-one coaching and also with my epic Instagram course. So yeah, honestly, I'm legit. I've worked with countless business owners, growing their accounts, experimenting, figuring out the best strategies to get some fab results. And these are just some of the fab businesses that I've worked with. You can even see yours, Shelley, on there. There's Bentley's. I also have the stats to prove it. So my course students and clients have achieved some incredible things. I'm very, very proud of them all. It's so exciting to see all these business owners thriving in their businesses and feeling more confident, which is a big thing for me, feeling more confident to show up online. This isn't easy. I just want to say it. It isn't. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If it was easy, we wouldn't be sitting here, right? We'd all be just off and doing it and making loads of money on Instagram. It is not easy, but you are sitting here today and I'm going to help you make it easier, starting with this masterclass. So well done. You're here. You are in completely safe hands. I have got lots of experience and with your Instagram account, so you don't need to worry. You're in the right place. And I did this in the last masterclass, but this time I'm actually going to be clever and put my little baffled spotting it icon on here. So this is why I ask if you could take a quick picture of the screen of me waving, so then we can have a little chat afterwards in DMs, or just take a photo. You don't have to do it now if you're going to get distracted, but just a little hello. This is you, and like the little emoji, and then this is your Instagram account. So in my safe hands. Just a heads up, and this is why you should stick around until the end of the class. Firstly, we'll be doing a live Q&A, which was really successful last time. It's a great opportunity to ask me any questions you have about Instagram for your business. Secondly, anyone who stays to the end will be in for a chance to win a one-to-one coaching call with me, which is very exciting. In fact, I think the person who won it is also here. And then also, you will receive an amazing opportunity to join my Instagram course with a whopping 40% off and a fab bonus as well, which you won't want to miss out on either. So this is 30 Reels tips. So this is not 30 steps to creating a reel from scratch. I did think maybe I should do that, but actually tips is where it's at the moment. So I've collated my top 30 tips for refreshing your reels. There really is no particular order for these tips. They're very random, but I know that they're things that you will wish you knew soon. I've got these little dots along the bottom so that you can see how far we're going and how much progress we're making. The first thing, and sorry if I'm calling you out already on this one, but use videos with tip 1. Reels are all about capturing attention. So starting your reel with a static image that just stays still. So there is arguments with this that you could have a static image moving, but we won't get into that. But starting with a static image is not going to capture as much attention as a video will. So if you're someone that's used to uploading multiple photographs to make a reel, please try and capture your content in a video format instead. Even if it's a couple of seconds, a bit like in these videos, movement is so much more powerful in a reel than a static image. So hopefully you can notice that in these 2 examples. Okay, tip 2, let's do this. Tip 2, don't put elements in your reel outside of the grid lines. Now, I actually see this happen more often than you think. So you can see in this video example, I'm just moving it around. When you've added a text or stickers, obviously, usually there'd be like a video in the background, but I've gone with a purple background just to show you. And it gives you a faint overlay when you're moving it around of what it will look like behind. It shows you where the elements of the reel will be when it's live. So like the interaction buttons on the side and your profile name along the bottom. This is really helpful to just keep an eye on and make sure that you don't put any important text outside. This is the area, if it comes up. So this is actually the pink area where you should avoid putting anything important, especially text, because it can get unreadable. It actually leaves you quite a small area, so keep to the middle where you can. Cool. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is a great way of finding trending audios, a very, very big thing on Instagram. It is a great place to start for getting more reach, as the algorithm tends to prioritize content that features that in a recent best practices that they brought out. So it really isn't us guessing. We know that if you use trending audio, it is going to help you get reach. So this is going to be a very quick way to find out what's trending at the moment. Head to your profile, as you can see here, and click on the professional dashboard, which is that bit sort of in the middle. And then scroll down a bit and you'll find trending audio. Then when you click on it, you'll find a list of the top 50 trending audio, which is very, very useful. So have a click through, play around, see which ones might work with your Instagram account and what might work with your industry. So that leads me nicely onto tip 4. So this is seeing how others are using trending audio. Now, I highly recommend that you do this, as the videos that you're going to be seeing are probably some of the best performing reels on Instagram at the moment. So this is not just reels that are in your feed. These are probably some of the top at the moment, the most popular. So this is really, really great research. So you just have to click on the audio name in this area right here, for example, on number 1. And Instagram will show you other people's Reels videos that have been made with this audio. So this is really great to get inspiration, but it's also great to find trends. So if, for example, all the videos in this section are all following a similar trend and it could be relevant for your industry, that may be something that you should jump onto. Also, don't be afraid to follow a trend. Just as a little sort of extra tip, it is a really huge way to grow on Instagram at the moment. And this is a great place to find them, in the trending audio area. Tip number 5. So it's a bit more of a techie tip. But did you know that you can set a timer when you are filming in the app? Very, very useful. So this means that if you press the big white button in the middle, you'll get a countdown, and then you can go hands-free. And this is really perfect, perhaps if you want to follow a specific trend that has lip syncing or has like an audio in it. When the audio starts, you want to be in the right position. This is how you do it. I'll show you. So this is the button. It's just up here. So this is like me in video filming mode. This is the button just at the top. That is a little timer button. And when you click it, this opens. So you've got like a sort of a timeline of the audio just here. And then with this toggle, you can sort of see how long it can film for. So if you just wanted to set the timer and only film for a few seconds, you can do that. And also, if you click here, you can change the length of the countdown timer, which is very useful because sometimes 3 seconds is not quite enough. So you can change it, I think, up to 10. So if you just hit set timer, that blue button just there, and then when you start recording, when you press that white button, that timer will just start, and then it won't start filming until the timer's done. So it's very useful, that one. Tip 6. We sort of, and I'm aware we're flitting all over the place here, but tip 6 is to use a visual hook. Now, you may have heard of a hook before, and Instagram themselves, again, with this best practices that they've brought out, which I'm due to make a post on, they've actually said that the first 3 seconds of your reel is extremely important. And it doesn't have to just be a written hook, which I know a lot of people do talk about. It's hooking people in with something really punchy. It actually could be a visual hook, and this will capture people's attention. It can work just as well as a written hook, if not better sometimes. So these are some examples. Feel free to screenshot. These are things that I've seen done very well before. Things like setting up your phone quickly instead of it being ready to go, opening a door, stirring a drink, just a bit of movement if it's you speaking, taking your glasses off before you talk. Again, doesn't always have to be talking ones. It could just be like a very quick cut happens, or you throw something into a frame, or you zoom in quickly. Keep that in mind for that first 3 seconds, having a bit of a visual hook, nothing too static, just to put people in. We don't have much time, sadly. I wish we had more time to hook people in, but we don't. People are scrolling very quickly. So this is quite a good way of getting them hooked. Okay, tip 7. Back to a techie tip. This is actually making use of any natural light that you have when you're filming. So this is actually more of a filming tip, and it is generic across Instagram for both photographs, stories, etc. But natural light is so useful. It saves you worrying about buying and setting up lights if you don't have the money or you don't have the time to do that. And it can help your video feel really, really authentic. Lighting is difficult, but if you've got a window and you've got a bit of light coming in, that is actually a great place to start. So if you're thinking of filming maybe a product, just turn towards the light, try and get as much light out of that, the natural sky then, the natural light as possible. Obviously it can be inconsistent though, and it's getting dark now, but we're about to go into the winter, so just be aware of that, of course. But for a quick video, it's perfect, and just want you to keep that in mind, especially with filming your face and filming products. Very useful to just keep an eye on where the natural light's coming from. Okay, tip 8. So tip 8 is to interact with users in your feed, whether that is people that you follow or people that you don't follow, because your feed is made up of both of those things, both before and after you post your reel. Now, guys, this seems like a lot of work, I know, but please try it. Don't miss this step next time you post a reel. It may feel a bit cringe to actively engage with people, but you'll get used to it, and trust me, you'll be surprised. I've noticed quite a difference in reach if I don't do this, which is why I really, really try not to. And that's why if you are scheduling content, it's good to try and jump on even just for 30 seconds just to message people or comment on their reels, because I find that it is a really, really great way to get reach. I guess it's telling Instagram that you're there and you're willing to sort of put the time in and show up, and then maybe they reward you. I don't know if that's true, but it seems to help. So just try it next time you post. Okay, tip 9. Choose your visual style and stick to it. Now, again, this is a tip that is actually relevant across Instagram completely, but it's really, really good to try and stay consistent with how your reels look and feel. And I've learned this over the years of working in marketing. There is so much power in your audience recognizing your work. And this is one way to do that. It's choosing a visual style and sticking to it. The first main thing there to take away from this is fonts. If you keep using different fonts, it might not look like it's always you. So just keep that in mind. So tip 10, capture B-roll footage. If you've not heard of B-roll, then you probably haven't been following me on Instagram for that long, because I feel like I do not shut up about it. B-roll is like the secondary footage in the film. That's why it's called B-roll. So A-roll is the main action. B-roll is the other shots. So you've got the close-ups of someone sipping their coffee or a zoomed out shot to set the scene. And it is perfect for Instagram as it can really, really paint a picture for your audience. And it's great for adding text over the top to get your message across if you don't have time, for example, to film like a chatty thing, or if you don't have time to feel like a more like trending reel, trending audio. So here's some really simple examples. I'm always sharing examples of different types of B-roll. I'm also posting B-roll myself, but just either take a photo or screenshot, or you can come back to this, of course. These are some quite nice ideas for B-roll footage. And also just to add on to that, shooting a time lapse is also a really great way of getting content. And lots of these could be time lapse shots, which most smartphones can actually take, and then it like makes it into a time lapse for you. Or you could just take one long video and then you could speed it up in an editing app. So yeah, capture B-roll footage, just do it, just try it. Like, oh, it would be amazing. I'd love to see it. So yeah. Tip 11. Okay, we're powering through. Tip 11 is to tag your location. Now, obviously, this is only relevant if your business is location based. You only want your content to reach a certain location, of course. But if it is, and you aren't doing this and you're not tagging your location, you are missing a bit of a trick. So give it a try on your next video. Once again, this is telling the algorithm exactly where you're at. It's more likely to share it with your target audience, which will be in that target area. Obviously, please only do this if you're location based. For example, if you're a shop or a hairdresser or a cafe, or if you're offering a service that you can only offer within that area. It wouldn't be a clever thing for me to do, because at the moment I, as Baffled to Bossing It, want to reach audiences beyond just my local area. But maybe for my business, Hometown Creative, it would be a good thing to do because we want to work with people locally. So there's obviously some people this won't be relevant, but if you're not doing it, then give it a try. Tip 12. Now, we all have a bit of a tendency to overcomplicate things. So just to take the pressure off your reels being this huge production, keep it simple. It is a really, really great way to feel more confident with them. They really don't have to be overcomplicated. And yes, as I said at the beginning, it may feel like everyone is doing everything so much more complicated than you are, but you have to start somewhere. You can't start making reels straight away and then being these big productions, lots of edits, lots of cuts, lots of different things happening. You're more likely to get started with posting more regularly if you keep things simple for yourself. So just a reminder that don't put too much pressure on yourself for them to be crazy big productions, and they shouldn't be anyway. Okay, similar one to earlier, but tip 13 is not to overbrand your reels with lots of colorful text. And this is controversial, just saying, but I recorded my screen scrolling through reels, and you'll notice that every single one of the reels that I'm seeing has quite simple black and white text. And obviously you want to stand out with your business, and obviously you want to stay on brand with your business. But I feel like these reels are in my feed for a reason. There's probably lots of other reels that I haven't seen that aren't in my feed. Whilst it's really good to stay consistent, don't go too crazy with loads of colors, because it ends up looking like an advert, which you don't want. I'm not saying that you can't use colored text. I'm just saying that keep it consistent, keep it minimal where possible, because I find that that's actually performing better. And that's also what I'm seeing quite a lot of. Of course, your feed may look very different to mine when you're scrolling through. You may completely want to ignore this tip. This is why it's good to be observant. But from experience, it's best to try and keep it simple with your text. We'll move on that now because it's scrolling. It makes people feel a bit dizzy. Okay, so tip 14, when that comes onto your screen, just give it a second. Can you see tip 14 yet? Not yet. I can. There we go, tip 14. So tip 14 is that the quicker the cuts, the more views you will get. So whether you're editing a video of you talking, or perhaps a different shots of a location, for example, or a product, keep the cuts really tight between the clips. So this is a challenge for you for your next reel. Once you've edited it together, as you would usually, check the pace, see if it could be a bit quicker, because it probably could be. And it's another great way to hook people in. That was tip 14. Tip 15. So we're halfway through, which is actually crazy. I hope you guys are finding this useful. Give me a little thumbs up or like a smiley in the caption if you are finding the tips useful. That would be lovely to see. Thank you, guys. So tip 15, it's really engaging and really professional, I want to say, to cut your clips to the audio. So to the beat of the music, for example. You've probably seen or like heard people do this. It can be really, really effective. So here's a tip on how to do that, basically. If you are editing in Instagram, in the edit mode, you can actually see the sound waves of the audio. This isn't always relevant because it depends on how like harsh the beat is, but sometimes this can be really, really helpful for cutting your video to a specific part of the audio. So like here, you can see where the beat kicks in, where the purple circle is, you can see like a bit more of a beat. I'm not going to play it because I didn't sort out the audio for playing stuff, but it sort of kicks in the beat there and you can see it visually, which is actually very, very helpful. So just so you know, when you're in that editing area, obviously feel free to get your phones out now if you do want to have a little play around with this. If you slide your finger to the left and right when you're in editing mode, you can use this white line to get in the right place to cut your clip. So just try that next time. Obviously, that is how you edit, but just to be aware. So here's an example of me doing exactly that. I'm just moving my finger and the white line staying in the middle, moving the timeline from left to right. Continuing, it's quite a long tip, this one. Then you just have to tap on the clip if you are editing to select it and then tap split just here, and that cuts it at the white line. So that's the tip. So if you want to cut it where a beat is, get the white line on the beat, click your video and click split and it will cut it right on the beat. And then you can add your next video, for example. So then you can sort of delete the next bit, add your next one, and that's where it will cut. Hope that makes sense. It's probably a little bit hard to show on here. While we're here, tip 16, if you didn't know already, you can zoom in and out in the editing area. Very, very, very helpful for stuff like this where you want to get things more exact. So if you didn't know that already, you just pinch to zoom in and out. And that means you can get things really precise if you want to like go in and edit on a beat, like I mentioned. Tip 17, spend some time researching for post ideas. So this is all about researching, generating ideas for your reels. And honestly, coming up with a good idea off the cuff is hard. It's not easy. It may seem like that's what everyone else is doing, but they really aren't. They are thinking about it a little bit beforehand and they've done some research. It takes time to come up with good ideas. So instead of putting a really high expectation on yourself to have amazing ideas all the time whenever you're about to post a reel, put a bit of a bigger chunk of time in and do a little bit of research. Use tools like ChatGPT, speak to ChatGPT about your audience, or tools like Answer the Public, I find are really good ones. Write that down. It's a very, very useful website. And just generate ideas about your industry. Or the other tip is to scroll. Scroll for research purposes. Obviously, get in the zone. Don't get distracted. It can be difficult. But like I said earlier, when we mentioned trending audio, it can be really, really helpful to see what other people are doing, what other trends people are following, and then start noting down ideas in like a notes app somewhere. Please don't expect yourself to come up with ideas off the cuff all the time. This is a huge part of my course, by the way. It's like ideas is such a big thing for me. It's very, very hard to come up with ideas, I am aware, but it is a really, really big part of my course. I wish I could go into more detail in it now. So tip 18, another little techie one. Have you ever thought about filming in 2x speed? So this is actually a really fun way to mix up your reels or your B-roll content. To do that, the same area as the timer before, you just click this little 1x button, and when you film, you'll have the option to go faster or slower. So obviously like a third slower up to 4x faster. If you're filming to a trending audio, like just a sound, this can be quite fun to use. So maybe like give it a try if it's like a little dancey one and you're up for doing stuff like that. Please don't worry about getting this perfect first time. Just try these features, see if you want to test them out for your business. I love using this, sort of like popping my phone down, getting up, just sort of like looking around, and it's quite fun and like energetic. It was a little bit sped up. So quite hard for me to show you now, but definitely give this just a little try. You don't have to hit post, especially if you're filming B-roll content. Tip 19 is about staying organized. It's a huge one and something that probably we don't talk about enough. But if you've been scrolling and you find a reel that you absolutely love, you love the audio, you love the way it's been filmed, when you click the 3 dots on the video, you can then click save in the top left here, which I'm sure you know about. But the tip actually is to save into collections. So this helps keep things really, really organized. I suggest using this collections feature as often as you can, making new folders, basically. Just click new collection, create a folder. You can organize into different categories. I find that if I'm planning a little bit of a session shooting stuff, I will save it into like a October the 25th or whatever random date. But like if I know that I'm going to be having a day, I will literally save things into that specific folder, or B-roll ideas. That's like that sort of thing. It's quite good to sort of split things up because it can get overwhelming if you're saving lots and lots of other videos that people are doing. This is also such a big one for us with clients. We're saving videos a lot because we're always wanting to look at what other people are doing, follow trends, etc. So yeah, save things into folders and I promise you'll thank yourself later. Okay, tip 20. So did you know that you can add your own image as a reel cover rather than having to just use a still clip from your reel? So here's how. You just click edit cover when you're in the area where you're about to post. And then you've got actually quite a big button. It used to be a small button, but it's quite a big button now. So hopefully quite obvious now, but you can click add from camera roll. You can obviously slide along if you want to, like in the video just here, or you can click add from camera roll, and that allows you to upload any image you want. The reel, just as like a sort of like add on here, the reel cover doesn't really matter in terms of your reach. So whatever is in your reel cover won't affect the reach of your reel in terms of it going out to other people. But what it does affect is how your Instagram grid looks, which is why people often like to upload their own images, because sometimes what's in the video might not completely match their vibe. They might want things a bit cleaner, a bit crisper. So that's a way of doing that. It's adding your own image. Which also brings me nicely onto tip 21. If you click on profile grid in this area when you are choosing your reel cover, you can actually adjust the cover image. So you can adjust how it appears on the grid. You can move it around, but you can also zoom if you want, like I'm doing here. So this is quite useful to know. I think quite a lot of people I've spoken to before said they didn't know you could sort of move it. They didn't know you could zoom. So that's quite helpful. So you can adjust it to see exactly how it looks on the grid. This is obviously a square grid. There has been some changes recently where some people have been seeing not square grids. But at the moment, the way that you can edit this is just with a square grid. So yeah, that's tip 21. Okay, tip 22. Don't film in 4K. So this is if you're filming outside of the app, of course. We've spoken a bit about filming inside the app. And that is not to film in 4K mode, which is super, super high quality mode. And obviously a lot of smartphone cameras can capture 4K right now. It might be in your instinct to film the highest quality. But the reason I say this is that actually when you add your footage into Instagram, which only shares in 1080p, which is the one just under that on most of our phones, is lower quality than 4K. It only shares in that format. It actually automatically compresses bigger files, and sometimes you end up with a worse quality video. So 4K might feel like it's all fancy and lovely and it's very, very high quality video, but it might be that you end up putting it into Instagram. It freaks out because it's a little bit big, and then it compresses it, and then you actually end up getting less quality. So try and film in the format that your reel will end up going out in, because otherwise you'll end up with potentially less quality in your reels. Obviously, I can't tell you exactly how you can change your phone, but I'm sure a lot of you have iPhones, and it's quite easy to switch between 1080p and 4K in your either like in the filming area, or you can go into settings so that you always have it on 1080. Okay, tip 23 is to not share reels with watermarks. This is a screenshot from the best practices, the new best practices in Instagram. I actually used to give this tip before they said it was something that actually doesn't help, as I found that from experience with reels with a TikTok watermark, that's probably the main one, actually didn't perform too well. And now Instagram, as you can see, have actually said it themselves. They say that having a third-party watermark on your reels may prevent them from being recommended to new audiences. Now, this is happening less and less now, because I think when you edit on TikTok, you can actually download your video without the watermark. I think that's a thing that you can do now. So it's happening less and less. But just please remember, if you're editing in another app, try not to share third-party watermarks where possible. It doesn't actually say the word TikTok, so just be aware of that. It could be other apps as well, such as editing apps, which could be potentially a touchy subject, because it means you might have to start paying for the apps so you don't get a watermark. But I don't know the complete answer. I just know that TikTok, avoid the TikTok watermark where possible. Just so you know, this is an example of a watermark. And yes, I am very guilty. This is actually a video that I shared a couple of years ago, 2 years ago now, on my personal account. Very guilty. Funny enough, didn't perform that well. But yeah, that's an example of what one looks like. Okay, tip 24, please don't be afraid to repeat yourself. So this goes across everything on Instagram, to be honest. A lot of these tips are relevant for both posts, stories, and reels. But honestly, it's probably only you, maybe your best friend or your partner, that are the only people that are going to see every single piece of your content from start to finish. So please don't be afraid to keep pushing that message. Please don't be afraid to repeat yourself. This is also great for content because you can reuse stuff. I wouldn't say reuse stuff straight away, but if you've posted something and it did really well last year and it still looks high quality, reuse it. Like, don't be afraid to repeat yourself and repurpose your content. Tip 25. Okay, so this is an important one for me, and also another big aspect of the course. This is probably me with my marketing hat on a little bit, but keep an eye on how your content performs. So in the professional dashboard area that we saw earlier, we can click on content you've shared. So you'll see this area in the professional dashboard. You've got your views, your interactions, you've got your total followers, you've got some numbers there. If you click on content you've shared, it will show you this area, and there's actually so much info and it's so interesting. Have a little click around. Don't be too scared of all the different filters. There's just lots of different stuff. Just have a nosy, just out of interest. You can filter just to reels, and you can filter like the top viewed or the top engaged reels. And I think you can look up to like the last 2 years or something crazy like that. So definitely have a look at what your top performing reels have been. See what's performing well. Maybe you can replicate that. Maybe you can start, maybe there's a bit of a theme running of your top performing ones. And then you can sort of keep adjusting as you go and just see what performed well for the goals that you have. Tip 26. This is another engagement one, actually. And it's funny that I have ended up filming a masterclass literally a couple of days after Instagram announced their best practices. But this is another screenshot from that. They have actually admitted it. So yeah. this is an absolutely huge one. Reply to comments on your posts. It's a very big tip, very important. Obviously, prompting comments is a really great place to start. And that isn't actually a tip that I've said here, but it is great to prompt people to comment on your reel with a call to action. For example, tell me what you think in the comments. That's a nice basic one. Or which do you prefer out of these two things? Let me know in the comments. Get people talking. So even if someone has commented on your reel and just said that they love it, love this, make sure to thank them, make sure to reply. And as Instagram have said themselves, try and do it within a couple of days if you can, which is interesting that they've mentioned this. So perhaps rather than also just replying and saying thank you, you could ask them a question. You could keep that conversation going. Every time they come back, they're seeing the reel again, and they're getting you another view, which is showing the algorithm that that content's performing well, and maybe it'll push it out to more people. So yeah, it can obviously, it's really helpful for your reel, but also helpful for you to generate conversations with your audience, which is a very important thing. Tip 27 is to create shareable content. And when I mean shareable, I sort of mean something that people might share with their friends or their peers. So that could be relatable, it could be funny, it could be emotive. There's obviously many other different words that could come off of this. And this is another thing that Instagram has said that they're loving at the moment. So if you can get your friends to share your content with your other friends, maybe that's sort of a great way of telling the Instagram algorithm that your content is share worthy. But obviously, the ideal scenario is that your content is shareable. So keep that in mind. Relatable, funny, and emotive are three of the top ones that make it really, really share worthy. Tip 28. I don't know if you guys know about this. It's amazing. It's so useful. This is to use reel templates for speedy editing. And obviously this is only relevant for certain things, so do keep that in mind. But when you go to create a new reel, you will see this templates area, hopefully. They're testing all sorts of things. I can't promise that you all see the same thing in your Instagram accounts, but you'll see this Reels template area just here. So if you click on that, you'll find a whole selection of other people's reels that Instagram will then let you use as a template. So it shows you recommended reels, things that are trending, and even templates from content that you've already saved. So it's a very, very helpful area. And obviously I said only relevant for certain things, but have a check out of that area if it feels like it is relevant to you and you have lots of different clips of different things that you want to piece together quite quickly. Okay, we're nearly done. Tip 29, just do it. You've got this, honestly. Post a reel. I know that you can do this. They can feel really overwhelming. They really, really don't have to be. You just got to start somewhere, and please try not to ever worry about what people think. That is one huge hurdle. If you can get over that, honestly, you can rule the world with reels, because it's such a big part of posting on there is just not worrying what other people think. So please, if you post a reel off the back of this and you felt a little bit more motivated than you were before, please tag it, please share it with me, because I will 100% cheer you on. I will comment, I will do all the things, I'll share it with my friends, and we can all help each other, because obviously a lot of us have shared stuff in the caption. So yeah, just do it. You've got this. Obviously, that feels like it's the last one, but it isn't, because the last one, guilty as charged, is to buy my Instagram course. So my final tip, and you may have seen this coming if you know me, if you've been to one of my masterclasses before, my final tip for your reels, and probably the best thing that you could ever do to help you with your Instagram account, is to buy my Instagram course. If there's ever going to be anything that will help you smash it, then this course is it. It's amazing. I'm going to just tell you how amazing it is now. So if you're feeling stuck with any of these things, stuck with learning how to use Instagram, you're lacking in post ideas, as I said, quite a big thing in the course, or like you just generally hate it and you want to feel like this, much more sparkly and happy about Instagram, and that you're ready to create some incredible content for your business, market your business in the way it deserves to be marketed, then you need my Instagram course, the Baffled to Bossing It Instagram course. Here it is. So I spent 6 months writing and filming this course. It is packed with content. It is literally, I say to people, it is my brain downloaded into a course. A few of you are here that have done the course, which is so exciting. So hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, even people that have done it. I know a few of you have said that you're interested. There's a couple of people that say that they're interested, and now is actually the best time to be interested because I have a crazy good discount for all of you. Oh, thank you, Bridget. You've heard good things. That's lovely to hear. Here's some course feedback from a couple of people that have done the course. As I said, there's some course students here. So thanks for being here, guys. If you think that they should enroll on the course, let everyone know in the comments if you think so. Obviously, don't say anything you don't want to have to say. But I feel confident in everyone that's done this course that they would shout it from the rooftops because it's fab. I've actually had loads of course feedback, amazing feedback. I stick to my word when I say it is packed with information. As I said, 7 modules, 32 videos. I've kept it super, super engaging. The slides change all the time. It's never boring. It's great. These are actually the 7 modules. I thought I'd just show you just in case you were interested. And I really believe that these are the 7 things that you need to do in order to smash it on Instagram. And even if you don't take anything away from this, take this away. Take a little screenshot, have a look, follow this strategy for yourself, or buy the course, obviously. But we just covered a very small portion today. Obviously, we only scratched the surface. This course literally covers everything to help you go from baffled to bossing it, which is the point of the name. And here we go. Here's the offer. So I'm offering this for an insane deal. It is really, really good. 40% off the course. You've got until the end of this month. I've given people a little bit more time. Usually I give people about 48 hours with an offer, but actually I thought maybe it could be a little payday treat for people that might still be sort of running their businesses alongside getting paid at the end of every month. Here's some examples of it, by the way. This is actually a screen recording of some of the clips. So I've got shots of me, I've got like clips of me tapping on the phone, showing you everything. It's very sort of engaging, interactive. There's course downloadables. And you can get it for only £298. And just to add, if you actually join before the end of this month, you will get a free session with me. Wait, let's make sure that's actually on the screen. Here we go. If you join before midnight on the 30th of September, which I think is Monday, anyone who joins with this code and off the back of this will get a free one-to-one session with me, which is actually worth £100. That's what I charge for my Hometown Creative hourly consultation services. So you're just getting this crazy good deal. You're getting 7 modules, you're getting 32 videos, 12 course downloads, the entire course plus a free session. So it is very, very good value for money. So how do you sign up? This is where I do the clever thing of copying my little link and pasting it into the caption. Thank you for everyone who's messaged. I'm seeing some of the messages come through. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Zoe. Very kind. So yeah, this is how you can get access. If you click that link, I will also send it obviously in an email a bit later, but if you want to sort of completely jump on it straight away. I've got some FAQs here about the course. I won't go into these now. You'll have access to the course materials for a very long time. You can work through it in your own time. I won't go into this in a major way now, but you can have a look. This is all on the web page. Feel free to take a screenshot as well if you want to just read through these. I can send them afterwards as well if needed. Okay, that was it. I've probably gone a little bit over. It means we only have about 12-15 minutes maybe, depending on how long you guys want to stick around. If you've got any questions, and I absolutely love this part, so I'm sorry that I've not given it much time. I sort of rambled on a bit maybe, but if you've got questions, we will try to answer them now. And at bang on 7, I will pick a winner for a 1-hour free masterclass. So if you end up buying the course and you win the masterclass, you could get 2 hours with me. We could properly go deep into your Instagram. So if you stick around until 7, then we will stick through the Q&A. Then I will pick a winner from the people that left. I'll do a little like random scroll and see who will win that. I'll literally do that on the screen. That's what I did last time. So yeah, stick around and you could be in for the chance to win. So this is where you come in. I'm on my own here without you. Any questions, guys? And feel free to chat if you want to like turn your microphones on. I actually can't turn other people's on. but you can message. Zoe has messaged, when replying to comments, is there a minimum word count? I believe there is, because I think I've done this before. I actually don't know what the minimum word count is. I don't think it's too short. I think you have the opportunity to chat like a little bit if you want to, but I would argue that if you're wanting to write too much, it's probably time to move over to DMs, which is where obviously you can build quite strong connections with your audience. So yeah, I think there probably is a minimum word count, but I don't know how long it is, I'm afraid. That's one I'd have to Google, sorry, I don't know that off by heart. Thank you, Anya. When you film on Instagram, does it post straight away or can you delete and reshoot? So good question. When you film a reel in Instagram, you can save it to drafts. So that's one of, there's a million tips that I couldn't put in here. But saving to drafts is probably quite a big thing if you're creating lots of reels at once. So you can film. You can set up your camera, say you're filming to a trending audio, let's say you're doing a little voiceover or something, or you're doing your like 2x speed video, you can then save it to drafts. And it is obvious when you go in, there is big, instead of hitting post, you hit save drafts, and then you go to your reels area to find that. So there is a way of doing that. Also, and it's not on everyone's accounts yet, but on a couple of my clients' accounts, I have this incredible feature, and I hope that we all end up with it, which is where when you post a reel, and let's say you've hit post, it's gone live to everyone, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I've messed up, I didn't put something in it, or I've done something wrong. You can actually, again, not on everyone's accounts. I don't have this on my account. I have this on some client accounts. You can actually say delete, and then it will save it, take it back to your drafts. Oh, it's amazing. So some people have it. I don't have it yet, but it's a really, really useful thing. If you have hit post and you panic and you've done something wrong, it will actually take it back into your draft. It's still editable. So I hope that they're rolling that out on everyone's accounts because it is very, very useful. So yes, you don't have to post straight away, basically, is the answer to that question. Okay, Buttered Toast, love the name. If I don't find the Instagram editing particularly intuitive, do you use Instagram to edit your videos, or do you shoot and do all the editing in a different app? Now, this is interesting because I actually don't have a direct answer to this, because I use the Instagram editing tools and I use an app separately. And for me, it kind of just does depend on what it is. So one of the main things is if I'm trying to cut my video, or my video is very reliant on the audio in Instagram, I tend to use the Instagram app to edit, and it is getting better. You can now press back. You never used to be able to press back. So before, if you deleted something, you wouldn't even be able to press back. So it is getting better, but I do agree that it isn't particularly intuitive. It does take practice, but when I am editing outside of the app, it might be for something maybe that I know I want to get lots of clips going together. It doesn't matter about the audio. I need to add text, or it's like a chatty one, often a chatty reel, which you'll see me upload sometimes on my Baffled to Bossing It account. If it's got like captions and stuff, I'll probably edit that in something like CapCut or in InShot. Those are the two apps that I use. I do pay for those. Obviously, it is my job doing this and running other people's social media accounts. So I can't afford not to pay for them, mainly because they usually have like the outro and intro might have branding on it, and I can't do that for client accounts. So I do end up paying. But I do highly recommend, if you're struggling a little bit with Instagram, it might be worth signing up to something like InShot or CapCut. I think InShot's quite a bit cheaper. They're both very, very good apps. Okay, other questions. I have seen reels that say, for example, I'm a photographer, but I'm also a ... And then it pops up with lots of different things in turn. Dog mum, big sister, Capricorn, etc. I would love to do this, but I don't know how. Okay, so the place that I would start with this, Helen, this is basically pulling lots of clips together. The place I would start is just not in Instagram. I would get the videos in your camera roll and save them to a folder in your camera, in your phone. That is like a really good place to start, because it can be really overwhelming when you're in the Instagram app and you need lots of different videos that might be in various different places on your phone, maybe one you filmed last year, maybe one you filmed last week, it can be really overwhelming to like go and find them when you're mid-editing. So the first place I would start with that is to collate all these videos. I'd like to think that you have a lot of them already. For something like Capricorn, that's obviously quite hard for you to probably get across in a video, but you could use, that's where B-roll comes in. So the first thing I would do would be to collate all of those into a folder. And then this is where you could have something like using a reel template might come in handy. Have you seen someone else do this and they have their account has set up to be able to like steal their reel template? That's one thing. Is there is another way to find reel templates. I don't know if I can show you on any of my past slides on a reel. Probably not. In reels, oh, maybe this one. Oh, there, it goes really quickly. If I pause it, I'm not sure you can see. Just here, sometimes in this bottom bit, you can see if the reel is like a template, and you can sort of like steal the way that they've edited it. So it could be that if you've seen someone else do this and they've got that feature, they literally have the cuts set up ready for you to go. And then you can just go to your folder that you've made with all your videos in it, upload them. That would be probably a really good place to start. I can probably go into a bit more detail maybe outside of this. I can send you a voice note if you need like a little bit more help from that. But one of my main tips generally is pulling all those videos together before you go into the app, because cutting things can be really overwhelming when you're then also trying to find them. I saw on one of your posts that you use the back camera for better quality and you had it showing on an iPad. How do you do that? Oh, I absolutely love this tip. So this is where on an iPhone, if your iPhone is linked with the Apple iCloud to another device, you can actually do this thing called screen sharing. So I actually realized I could probably just show my phone. So here, this button just here is called screen mirroring. If you press that and you've got another device that's open, that's linked with Apple iCloud, and you click the device, it will actually show the mirrored, it will show this screen, your phone screen, on that screen. And that's really, really helpful for then when you're filming on your back camera. So you set up your camera here, you can't see it because it's here, but you can see it on your other screen. Very, very helpful tip. If you were confused by that and you want me to go into more detail, I can obviously do that later. I can send you like a little video or something. I don't know if I've done that one on my reel yet. I don't know. Don't think I have, but I haven't done a reel about that yet. So it's a good shout, Joe. I will do that. What is the best metric to focus on? Likes, reach, or number of plays? I never know what to obsess over. So that is really interesting. This all really does depend on what your goals are. If brand awareness and just getting people to see your stuff is what you want, then obviously that would be probably reach. How many people is it reaching? It's a tricky one. Most people, obviously, their goal is to be getting people to their account, getting followers, and building a community. That should be your goal, because that's the way that you're going to then get people on board to buying your products, signing up to your services, etc. So it really could be any of those things. Any of those things lead to that goal. I would say try not to focus on one specific thing. But if you do want to focus on one thing, I would say reach is obviously great, but engagement is key. If you I would say even more than likes, if you're getting comments, that is a huge, huge thing, because you're having conversations with your audience. So that's probably a good place to start with that one. Oh, Helen, not multiple videos. I'm a photographer, but I also find that it pops up with different things. I'm not sure what you mean. Is it text that pops up? That means I just didn't give you your answer, because I thought it was multiple videos. I'm so sorry. It's only one photo, but the text pops up onto one photo. Oh, okay. So this is having to play around with the text function in Instagram Reels. So a little bit confusing, but you can add different text. You can add text on your reel, and you can change how long the text shows for in the timeline. So what you'll find, I wonder if I can show you. I know we only have a couple of minutes, but I feel like this might be useful. Let me get a video up, or shall I do a photo? I'll do a photo of Gus. Here we go. Oh, it's a video of Gus because it's a live. So I'm adding text. I'm saying hello. I'll just add that here. So I've added hello over the top of the cute video of Gus. When you go into your edit video area, just here, to get up your timeline, I'll just pause this. You'll see your text here like this, okay? So this is like, these are your different layers. So you've got your video and then you've got your audio, which I haven't added, and then you've got your text just here. So if you click this, you can actually change how long it's shown for on the video. So that means it's only showing at the beginning, this one. So then what you need to do, what's a really useful tool actually, is if you then click duplicate on, like you've selected your text and you click duplicate, it will duplicate your text so you have another layer. Then you can pick it up or you can sort of move it along like this. And then that's the next bit of text. So it will say hello and hello. So then when you go into your timeline, this is a really funny way to show you. Then you go into your timeline and you can change it to say goodbye. Edit video. And then you've got hello and then goodbye. Do you see? So that's your way of adding 2 bits of text. And obviously you'll need to do that with a lot of text. So it's a little bit faffy, but the duplicate feature is really helpful. Love the tip about screen sharing. Oh yeah, screen sharing. So good. Great tip, Joe. Such a good one, isn't it? Cool. Okay, that's actually perfect. No one else has asked another question. So we will get on to picking a winner. Oh my gosh, I love this part. Okay, so there's 25 of you. That's crazy. So I've got all your names along the side like this. And I'm just going to like scroll up and down and close my eye. Like I'm going to put my finger there, close my eye, scroll up and down. I'm going to go stop. Ruth Scammell. Ruth, you have won.
Yay! Oh, I'm excited. Thank you.
You've won a 1-to-1. That's very, very exciting.
That's great. Cool. Thank you. I'll bring cake.
Oh, I can hear you now. Say it again.
I said I'll bring cake.
I picked someone that's local. That's brilliant. Oh, how exciting. Oh, look at all the like celebrations. That is very, very exciting. Oh, thank you guys for being here. You're awesome. Oh, Alison, I won it last time and it was so useful. Oh, fab. That's so exciting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this workshop. Please check out the Instagram course. It is my pride and joy, and you're getting it at an amazing discount as well as a free session with me. So if you didn't win it, don't worry. You still have the opportunity to get it at a crazy good price with the course as well. But the key thing is obviously don't stress about this. Don't stress about Reels. Ask for help as well. I'm always here. I love helping people. So any questions that you have like that, just come and say hello to me in DMs. I never say no to answering questions. So just let me know if you need any help and I'll be there. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Oh, this is like, we're gonna have to all go and watch Bake Off now. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I'll send you an email. We'll get a replay. It's been lovely having you all here. Thank you. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Kirsty, Alison, Shelley.